we are going to ask ourselves question. Now, the question that we are going to ask ourselves, Jeff, is that Cadjpy from the monthly time frame, what at all is price trying to tell us from the monthly time frame? Now, in other words, you can also ask yourself, what is the direction of the market from the monthly perspective? For example, 1 month. So, if we are going to focus only around this area, we ourselves can see that price is what? Is in an uptrend. Or we can also say that price is heading towards to the upside. So, Jeff, if you have been able to know that price is heading to the upside, the next question that we need to ask ourselves is that what are the criteria that will help us to know that this trend or this movement of price to the upside will still continue? So now, if price will continuously see buy pressure to the upside, every resistance and support, or every turning point, or you can also say every highs and low. There are so many terminology. You can also say what? Every supply and demand. A lot. Let's stick to what? Resistance and support. Every resistance and support must form above each other or on the same level. For example, I'm going to use arrow to illustrate what I'm trying to explain to you guys. For example, let's say price started from this one point as a support. To move to the upside, we know that there is no way price is going to move in a straight line. No, at a point in time, it will turn. That turning, the process, we have a terminology for that. And when it's turn, we have also terminology for that. We are sticking to support and resistance. And when price turn, that process of which price is using to turn, we have terminology. We are going to stick to only pullback. We call it pullback. Now, there are two types of pullback. Pullback can serve as continuation. Pullback can serve as what? Reversal. Now, let's focus on the criteria. We said that if price or if the market is going to see more buy pressure to the upside, every resistance and support must form above each other or on the same level. Let's see. Let's say we have this support. If it is formed this resistance, now there will be what? A pullback, or price must go for pullback. But as to when and where price is going to start its pullback, we don't know. But based on the information that you have, when price decides to behave A, B, C, D, you yourself can know that indeed the behavior that price is what doing right now is telling me that there will be likely that price will what? Go for pullback. Now, let's say price has decided to go for pullback. Now, if price decides to go for pullback, we said that every support and resistance must form above each other on the same level. So the above is where someone sat down to study the market and then design a tool called Fibonacci to measure where exactly, or the above, or where price is likely to turn. That is the above. So the above can be here, 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 here. That is why we have 30%, 40%, 50%, 70%, 78% in that order. So therefore, let's say price has decided, or the market has decided to end here as the next support. This support has formed above this what? Support. Now, if the market will be able to continue this uptrend, the duty of this new support is to confirm how? By breaking this resistance to form its resistance. So this resistance was formed because of this support. So if this support managed to break this resistance, we have a new support, which is what? Above this support. Now, if price is going to what? Pull back again, we are what? Waiting for price to either what? Form above this support or on the same level for the uptrend to continue, because this support has also formed its resistance. When and where price is going to pull back, we don't know. Let's say price has started to pull back. So if this what? Pullback is going to confirm the uptrend, its support must form above this or on the same level before price continue in that order. So with this, let's go back to our chart and analyze how GBP card from there, or Cadjpy from the monthly time frame, is explaining itself. So price in the monthly time frame, only this area is telling us that we are heading towards to the upside to this resistance. Question is simple. When, where, we don't know. So we are going to follow price. So within this uptrend, where is our support and resistance? We are going to start from this support. Starting from this support, we have here as the first support. As to where we started, do we have another support again? Yes, this is the next support. Do we have another support again? Yes. This is the support that we are expecting price to confirm the trend. So this support, this last support, we don't have the resistance that has formed because of that support, which tells us that right now price is what? Is in a continuation. Question: are we going to see price breaking the previous resistance? We don't know. So now the moment is that we must now then understand how price is moving to do our anticipation, to see if there will be more buy pressure to the previous not to break to the previous resistance. That is when we are going to ask ourselves if there will be a break or reversal. So after knowing all the support, what is the next? The next is to focus on the resistance. This first support formed this resistance for price to pull back. Now when price pull back, it forms a support above. This second support also confirmed the trend by forming its resistance. This brings us to what? The next resistance, which is above this resistance. That was formed not because of this resistance, but rather because of this support confirming the trend by breaking this resistance. So we have a break. Price has done one. Price has pulled back as expected. So this resistance has also formed its support above this support. Now, this support, does it have resistance? No. So now this support is telling us that we are in a continuation phase. So the question that we need to ask ourselves is that, are we going to see more buyers pushing price back to this resistance? That is the question. Or are we going to see more sellers dropping? So at the moment, we have to now then what? Anticipate if this support will serve as continuation by pushing price back to this resistance. Now, from the monthly perspective, we have our monthly resistance, which is this resistance that we are what? Anticipating price to see more buy pressure to complete that resistance. And then we have this support. So this is our range. So now in monthly, we are within this resistance and this support. Before we can know that if there will be more buy pressure to push price from this level up to this resistance, we must understand how this support here in monthly form this what? This resistance here form this support in monthly. There we can now then confirm that there will be more buy pressure to this resistance. So let's find out what is happening here in weekly time frame. So here we are in the weekly time frame. Now, how is weekly explaining price movement in monthly? So weekly is telling us that price dropped significantly, forming this support here. There was a pullback. Continuation to this support here, price moved in the form of a trend. So when price pull back to this support in weekly, we saw price forming what? Double bottom. So double bottom with addition to the previous support, it has formed what? Triple bottom. What do we know about triple bottom? Triple bottom can serve as what? Reversal. Can serve as what? Continuation. Now, let's focus on the double bottom, because the double bottom has initiated the new movement of price. Now, after this double bottom, how is price moving from the weekly perspective? So weekly time frame, price is what? Is in a trend. That means that when we scale it to lower time frame, we will see complicated movement of price. So how is weekly uptrend explaining price movement in monthly? So let's find out the uptrend in weekly. So weekly is telling us that after double bottom, we have the first support, which is this support here. Do we have another support again? Yes, this is the support. Do you have another support again? No. So in weekly time frame, this is how price has moved. Double bottom, we have a move here, we have a support here, we have an impulse move, we have a correction. Now in weekly, we have seen an impulse move. The question that we need to ask ourselves is that, when are we going to see the next pullback? We don't know. So are we going to see more buyers pushing price back to this resistance for monthly to complete, or we are going to see what? Sellers coming in to push price? We don't know. Now, after this support breaking this resistance in weekly, it has also break this resistance. So this is how we are going to what? Jump in. So in weekly time frame, we have seen price breaking this what? Resistance here as key level. So if there will be more buy pressure to push price back to monthly resistance, this is how we are expecting price to behave. Now we are expecting price, after breaking this resistance here, price must see what? Sell pressure as pullback, and then we what? We look for opportunity to the upside. Or in weekly time frame, price can decide not to pull back at the moment. It can see more buy pressure to complete, but in daily time frame or lower time frame, price can pull back to respect this what? Broken resistance here as resistance. There we are going to see what? more buy pressure to the upside. Now, before we can know whether there will be what pullback at the moment or not, we must understand in lower time frame, for example, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, and so on and so forth, how weekly, this weekly support has not then managed to break this resistance, also this resistance. So therefore, to go to daily, we are going to focus only this new trend. If we do understand this new trend, that is when we tell ourselves that weekly will not be able to pull back anytime soon. That means that there will be more buy pressure to the upside, or it will confirm to us that weekly will pull back just at the moment for us to look for more buy opportunity to the upside. So let's go to daily to focus only this uptrend. So here we are in the daily time frame. Now, are we seeing the same price action in daily? No. Let's forward it to weekly. So how is this what movement of price explain itself in weekly? We can see strong movement of price, or strong uptrend, or significant move, or any terminology that you want to describe this movement of price. There are a lot of terminology. Stick to one that you can easily remember and then use it. You don't need to complicate it by saying this or that or that or that. Just stick to one that you can easily remember. So yeah, so this I always call it impulse move or significant move. So price has moved impulsively to break its resistance, also this resistance. How is that impulse move explaining itself in other time frame lower than where we saw this impulse move, which is weekly? Now, to move on to for daily, we are going to focus here. So let's quickly switch on to daily. Here we are in the daily time frame. How is daily explaining that impulse move? Daily is telling us that the impulse move that we saw in weekly is not the same as such, but rather it is heading towards to the upside, but this time around not impulsively, in the form of trend. So daily is in the form of trend heading to the upside. Combine them, up and then trend. So now within this uptrend, where is our support and resistance within this uptrend? Let's find out. Now, to start from anywhere, let's say we are starting from this support. We have it as the support. Do you have another support? Yes. Do we have another support? Yes. Do you have another support? No. So this is the last support in daily. So we are going to use logic here. When we started from monthly, we saw that monthly is in a continuation. So we are anticipating price to complete monthly resistance. Now, when we switch on to weekly, we saw that weekly has managed to break 2 resistance in weekly. So therefore, weekly is also in a continuation. When we move on to daily, what are we also seeing? Currently, daily is also in a continuation phase. Question now, this brings us to either you are going to swing trade or intraday or day trade or scalp. So we are going to start from daily because we are going to start new week. So monthly, weekly was just as to see the higher time frame or the bigger picture of the market. After scaling to daily, now we are going to then do our proper analysis from daily to 1 hour. That is when we are going to see how we are going to define ourselves this week when we want to trade Cadjpy, either as intraday, day trader, or swing or scalp. So we are going to start from the daily. Daily is telling us that all the bigger picture time frame like weekly and monthly is an uptrend in a continuation. How is daily also telling a story? Daily is telling us that it is also in a continuation phase. So after knowing all the support, what is the next is to focus on the resistance. First support here form this resistance. After that, what happens? There was a pullback or there was a turning. That turning point or that turning of price from the next point, which is also above the previous support, which is support. Now this support was able to confirm the trend by doing breaking this resistance to form the next resistance above this resistance. And then what happens? There was a pullback respecting this resistance here as support. Now this support has also formed above this support. What has happened? We have seen buyers coming in strongly to push price. So therefore, price is currently at this daily resistance. 2 things can happen here. If there is more buy pressure, price will break this resistance straight away before we see pullback and then continuation of price. If not, if the buyers are not enough right now, what is going to happen? That means that there can be pull back before there will be more buy pressure to break it. Now, which of them is going to happen? Let's find out. Before we switch on to any time frame which is lower than daily, how many pullback do we have within this trend? We started from here. That means that this was the first pullback to form this support. This was the second pullback to form this support. Do you have another pullback again? No. So now, if there will be a pullback again, price must break this resistance. Okay, so to move on to any other time frame, in daily time frame, we have here so in daily time frame, we have here as what? As our daily support, and then we have here as what? As our daily what? Resistance. Now this is how price is behaving right now. So this week we are going to define ourselves at any type of what? Trader, depending on what? Daily movement of price. So if daily is going to what? Break this resistance here, we are going to see how 4 hour is going to behave as such. Then we either look for opportunity in 4 hour or in 1 hour to either swing or day trade or intraday. So let's find out what is happening here in daily resistance and daily support. So here we are in 4 hour. So in 4 hour time frame, how is price explaining daily movement? So 4 hour is telling us that for price in daily to form this what? Daily support, price was what? In a downtrend in 4 hour. Where is that downtrend? Starting from this resistance, price formed this support. There was a pullback, price also formed this support. So we're expecting the next continuation of price. The buyers came in strongly to break above this resistance as break. So what happens? There was a pullback to respect this support. Continuation also failed. There was a pullback to respect exactly this support. And what has happened? We have seen buyers coming in. Now, this is the new movement of price in 4 hour. So where is the new movement of price? So the new movement of price in 4 hour is for price to break this resistance, because we were having this resistance to form this support. Price formed this resistance. Price has formed this support. So this was the new what? Movement of price. If you are a trend line trader, this was the new movement. So what has happened? Price has break this 4 hour resistance. Also 4 hour resistance. What are we expecting? We are expecting if buyers are in, or if buyers are strong, as we are seeing here with this strong movement of price, we are waiting for pullback. If price pullback, don't buy, don't sell. If you are looking for buy opportunity, when price pullback, we'll stay patient for price to break above. Come back here will be profitable for us to look for opportunity to the upside if price what? Failed to break below. Now, if price failed to break below, that is when we'll be looking for opportunity to the upside. Now, if there are more buyers, that means that we'll see break straight away, then wait for pullback. Opportunity to the upside will be profitable. Now, if price managed to break, for example, if price managed to break, price can break below again, price can break above again before price pull back to it for us to look for opportunity to the upside. So there are so many behavior that price can what? Present itself before there will be either sell opportunity or buy opportunity. Now, if we are going to sell, how are we going to sell? If the buyers are not enough, that is our room of what? Error. Now, if we are going to sell, how are we going to sell? We can only sell, or the best place for us to sell, for us to hit our take profit, is that price must respect this last resistance here. That price has break as now resistance. How? Price can pull back here, reject. Now then pull back and break below. We wait for pullback. Opportunity to the downside will be profitable. So the only way that we can look for opportunity for us to sell is that when price break below this, any of these resistance, we'll be looking for opportunity to the downside. If not, price can break above, come back for pullback, opportunity to the upside will be profitable. Or if there is more buy pressure, price will break, it will pull back, but it will not pull back exactly on this resistance. That means that if price pull back here, 10, we will not buy straight away. We wait for price to either come back here to what? To confirm this turning point as support. Then we're looking for opportunity to the upside. Or if it managed to break, come back here, opportunity to the upside will be profitable. So GBP card at the moment, we must stay patient and then see how daily 4 hour is going to what? Present itself at daily what? Previous resistance. Price has managed to pull back to daily previous resistance. What are we expecting? Higher time frame is in a continuation. Daily is in a continuation. 4 hour and 1 hour must confirm this continuation. If 4 hour and 1 hour fail to confirm this continuation, that means that daily will not be able to continue. That means that we are going to see what? The next cycle of price to drop. Let's also consult 1 hour to see how 1 hour is what? Explaining itself. So here we are in 1 hour. So 1 hour is telling us that price has moved impulsively. If price move impulsively, what are we expecting? We're expecting the next what? Correction or the next pullback. That means that what we saw in 4 hour is also presenting itself in 1 hour. That means that we must stay patient for 1 hour to pull back. We will not buy straight away. Wait for continuation. If 1 hour fail to break this resistance, that means that we can get 1 hour entry like this, and then we sell price back to this what 4 hour what? Resistance. That is 1 hour entry to 4 hour resistance. There, if 4 hour pull back here again, that is when we'll be looking for what? Swing to drop price back to this what? Daily support. With this, if you have any question concerning GBP card, you can bring it on board for us to talk about it before we move on to any other pair. So at the moment, price is at daily previous resistance. We must stay patient and ask ourselves what is going to happen. Tell yourself, if you are sitting in front of your screen from this evening till the end of this trading week, if you are trading GBP card, tell yourself that price has pulled back to daily resistance. Two things can happen. Price can break to continue its trend. Price can reverse how price pull back to that daily resistance. That means that price can reverse this inner uptrend. Question is simple. Which of them is going to happen? Surely one of them will happen, and one is either price drop back to where it started as this support, or price continue its trend as what? As uptrend. So the question is simple. If price is going to continue its uptrend, how? If price is going to drop, how? Both of them, how? So the how will help us to jump in to either sell price back to this support or buy price back to its what? Resistance. Now, if you have any question in mind, you can bring it on board before we continue our pre-market analysis. So thank you for the gift strategies. Thank you. Okay, so if there is no question, that means that we are going to continue our analysis. So which pair is the next? Let me go to the comment section. Okay, someone is saying GBPJPY. So rate.fx. If you are still here, write once in the comment section. Okay, so ask your question. So Enemy Boy, ask your question, and then we move on to GBPJPY if rate.fx is still here. So, Enemy Boy, you have 2 minutes to ask your question. If not, we'll continue with if price rejects that daily resistance and pull back for double top, can I sell? Okay, that's fine. So, Enemy Boy, let me go to daily time frame. Yeah, here is daily time frame. If price pull back here and form double top, so double top can only be valid when price break the neckline. Then we wait for pullback. So double top, that is the only way that can help double top to valid as double top. If not, we are in a continuation phase. So this double top can fail to serve as what? Double bottom. How? Price can pull back here again, see buy pressure, break above, come back. Now, this is not double top, but rather double bottom. So when price pull back here and reject, when price pull back here again and reject again, that will give you confirmation that there will be what? Enough sell pressure. Then you further ask yourself question, if there will be enough pressure, you wait for what? That break line, then break neckline, break of neckline. Now when price pull back and you see any sales set up, that is when it will be what? It will be profitable for us to look for more sales to the downside. If not, this double what top here, it can fail. How can it fail? Let's find out. Let's say price has pulled back here. Price has reached this daily resistance. There will be what? Minor pullback. Price will what? Also continue to fail again. There will be what? Pull back again. Now it's double top, double bottom. Which of them is going to win? If there is what? Enough buyers, price will break, come back. Are we seeing double top here? No. It has not then turned as what? Double bottom. So it can only serve as double what? Top when there is a break of what? Neckline. Or you have strong confirmation. So it depends on how you want it, you know. If you see any strong confirmation and you want to do risk entry, you can do it. If not, then you can wait for price to break that neckline, then come back for pullback. Opportunity to the downside will be profitable. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine, yeah. So rate.fx, if you are still here, we can continue with JPY. If not, that means that we are going to do BTC. Yeah. So rate.fx, if you are here, write once in the comment section. Then I'll continue with JPY. Then after, I'll continue with BTC USD. If not, we are going to continue with BTC USD. Okay, so we are going to continue with BTC USD. Now we are starting from the what? From the weekly time frame, because I trade BTC USD. I don't need to start from the monthly time frame. Why? I've been watching it over and over and over and over. So even when I sleep, I have the monthly picture. So this is the monthly picture from the weekly time frame. How is that monthly? We are going to analyze monthly from the weekly time frame. We have monthly support. Monthly is what? Is in a continuation to break this resistance. How did monthly what? Broke this resistance. Monthly support, monthly resistance, monthly pullback, monthly continuation, monthly pullback, monthly continuation, monthly pullback, monthly continuation. Monthly is now in a pullback. So this is monthly movement of price. We have a support, we have a resistance, we have a pullback. We have a continuation, we have a pullback. We have a continuation, we have a pullback. We have a continuation. Price is currently in a pullback. So this double bottom here that you see, that we are seeing in weekly, is what? Morning star in monthly. When we forward it to monthly time frame, we can easily what? See it. So let's move on. Let me show this. Yeah. So this is monthly time frame. Now in monthly time frame, we're able to analyze monthly from the weekly. Monthly support, monthly resistance, monthly pullback, continuation, monthly pullback, continuation, monthly pullback. Monthly has continued. Now this was the what? Morning star confirmation that we saw as what? Double bottom. In weekly, price is pulling back in monthly time frame. So therefore, in monthly time frame, we are within this what? Monthly support here and the monthly resistance. Let's move on to weekly time frame. So here we are in the weekly time frame. So in weekly time frame, price is what? Is in a pullback in monthly, seeing that results in weekly. So therefore, in weekly time frame, we have here as what? As our monthly resistance, and then we have here as what? As our monthly support within this range. This is how weekly move. Let's find out in weekly. So there was this support in weekly. Now weekly support. Now weekly support. So price was able to change this uptrend here that we are seeing in weekly by breaking this support. So price, after breaking this support with an impulse move, there are two things that can happen. Now the first thing is that price can see buy pressure as pullback before it drop, or if there is enough sell pressure, that means that we are going to see sellers coming in strongly to drop price. So price in weekly is not in an uptrend anymore. It is in downtrend. That is why we are seeing monthly pulling back. Question that we need to ask ourselves is simple. Are we going to see more sellers pushing price back to this support? If yes, how? If yes, when? Now, let me ask the question again. Are we going to see sellers coming in strongly to push price back to this monthly support? If yes, how? If yes, when? If yes, how? If yes, when? Now, are we going to see the next question? Are we going to see buyers coming in to push price back to what? The previous broken weekly support? If yes, when? If yes, how? Now, how are we seeing price right now? So we are seeing price after significant drop here. We are seeing price seeing buy pressure. So the question is that, are we going to see buyers coming in to push price back to what? Our weekly support. Where is our weekly what? Last support that price broke within this uptrend. This is our last support that what? Price broke within this what? Weekly support or weekly trend. So therefore, if price is what is pulling back, we must understand how this resistance broke this last weekly support, which is this support, and then that will help us to know either there will be more buy pressure as weekly pullback before we see continuation of the sellers or reversal. So let's find out when we move on to daily time frame. So to move on to daily time frame, our main focus is to understand this trend, how weekly was able to break this last support. There we can use our understanding to predict whether there will be what? More buy pressure as pullback, or there will be more sell pressure as continuation. So therefore, I'm going to delay this one, and then when I move on to daily, it will be area of focus. So here we are in the daily time frame. How is daily explaining that? So we are seeing different price action as compared to weekly. That should tell us that daily is lower than weekly. So how is daily explaining that? Let's find out. Daily is telling us that price is heading towards to monthly support in the form of a trend. So it is heading towards to the downside in the form of a trend. The direction is to the downside. The behavior is trend. So we have what? Downtrend at the moment. Within this downtrend, starting from this resistance, we have this resistance, we have this resistance, we have this resistance. Do you have any resistance? Yes. This is the resistance that we're expecting price to drop. It has failed. That means that price is what? Is in a pullback. Let's find out, or let's continue. This first resistance formed this support before price pullback. This second resistance formed this support before price pullback. This last resistance has formed this support, and then price is pulling back. Are we in a downtrend? Yes, we are still in a downtrend in daily. We have not changed daily trend, but rather lower time frame can what? Trend can change, but daily has not changed the trend. Why? Because price in daily is sitting between, this is the last daily resistance. So in daily, this is our last daily resistance, which managed to do what? To break this daily what? Support. Also this weekly support. Then how did price broke it? Impulsively. So this resistance, where it is support. So this is the support. So now price after breaking this what? Weekly and then daily support with an impulse move, we are expecting correction before price drop. So now what we are seeing right now here is price to correct. So it's just trying to correct to either respect this broken daily support or weekly support before we see what? Drop. Question is simple. Are we going to see more buyers? So therefore, when we switch on to daily, we are not focusing here anymore. Why? Because when we're focusing here, we are focusing here to see if weekly will be able to pull back. We are in daily. So therefore, we are going to focus here to see if there will be more buy pressure to pull back to this daily what? Support. If we can be able to see if there will be more buy pressure, we must consult time frame lower than daily. And that time frame will be what? Either 4 hour or 1 hour or 15 minutes. So therefore, starting from this new week, we are going to focus on daily to see how price is what is behaving right now. So this is our range in daily resistance, daily support. This is our current movement of price. Within this current movement of price, how is price behaving? Price is also in the form of a trend, and within that trend, this is the last resistance within that trend. So the question that we need to ask ourselves, are we going to see break? If yes, we wait for a break, lower time frame pullback, opportunity to the upside. If we are going to see reversal, that means that if price now then after breaking below this resistance in daily, if price pull back here, if we are going to see more sell pressure, we are not expecting price to break above. That means that opportunity to the downside here will be profitable. And in that sense, this is how price is going to present itself. Significant drop, pull back in the form of a trend, price break below, price pull back to it, drop back here before there will be either what? Continuation or continuation to the downside. So therefore, our simple question this week is that, so we can what? Have this what? Range in our head, and then we draw here as what? As our daily resistance. Here is what? Our daily support. So this is the movement of price. Drop here. This support has formed this resistance. Price on it way, it has see buy pressure here, it has pulled back here, price has dropped below, price is going there. Are you going to see break? If yes, lower time frame break and retest, opportunity to the upside. If no, that means that we will see rejection here. That means that we are going to drop price back to this support. So our duty in lower time frame is to what? Is to focus around this area of price, or the price action within this movement of price. So our focus is what? Is what is happening here. Let's switch on to 4 hour. Now this is how 4 hour is what? Explaining everything. Now 4 hour is telling us that this was the last resistance in 4 hour. Now price has not been able to pull back to daily what? Resistance or broken support. Why? Simply because 4 hour is failing what? To change, or price is facing difficulty to change 4 hour downtrend to uptrend. So what trend are we in 4 hour? We are in a downtrend. What trend are we in 4 hour? We are in a downtrend. Why am I saying we are in a downtrend in 4 hour? We are going to find out. We are going to find out together. This is that daily resistance. How did price form this daily support in 4 hour? Price is telling us that we're in a downtrend. Let's find out. First resistance here as to where we started. Second resistance. Last resistance. Now, this last resistance has managed to break this last support in 4 hour to form its support. What has happened? We saw pullback. How did that pull back? In a form of uptrend. Within that uptrend, this was the last support that price broke in 4 hour to complete this what? 4 hour resistance. We were expecting continuation. What has happened? It saw sell pressure on this last resistance to drop, to break this last support. We were expecting pullback to look for sell pressure. What has happened? Buyers has come in to push price back to the same resistance again. Sellers are what? Buyers are failing to break this resistance. Sellers are failing to what? To break this what? Support. That means that what price is doing right now is telling me that there is likely that the buyers will come in, but it's not confirmed yet. It can be only confirmed when price break this resistance, as we saw in daily. So if you want to see how price is moving, we can use trend line to track it. Starting from here, we have our first touch, we have our second touch. Do we have our third touch? No. So we have our first, second touch. That means that price can see sell pressure here, drop back here, and if it is going to respect trend line, that is when we are going to see what? More buyers to come in, or price can what? See more buy pressure here, break above, come back for pullback, opportunity to what? To the upside will be profitable. So now our duty to trade BTC USD, what we are waiting for is for price to tell us what is going to happen here again. When it managed to do what? To pull back here. I can see that price has also respected this support here as support. That means that there is likely that there will be a break of this resistance, but it's not confirmed yet. It can only be confirmed when there is that break. So we are seeing what? Protected what? Highs here, or we are seeing what? Buyers failing to break this resistance, but sellers are also what? Failing to break this support. We are moving in a trend. First touch, second touch here. We have multiple touch here. What is going to happen? We must stay patient. So if price, so this is how we are going to come in. Our game plan is that if price manage to break, we wait for pullback, opportunity to the upside, will be profitable. If price fail to break this resistance here, we are going to what? Wait for opportunity around this area to sell back to the support, or to be in a safer side, we can wait for price to now then break below this support, come back for pullback, opportunity to the downside, will be profitable. So it's either we are selling below this support, we are buying above this what? Resistance. Which of them is going to happen? Automatically one of them is what? Is going to happen. But we must stay patient. If we stay patient, that is when any of them that present itself, we will look for opportunity to the upside. Now we are going to scale it to what? To 1 hour, to see how 1 hour also is presenting itself. If we are going to scale it to 1 hour, our focus is from this support to this resistance here. So how is price behaving here in 1 hour? That is when we will see that there will be a break, retest opportunity, or there will be a reversal. Let's consult 1 hour time frame. So here we are in the 1 hour time frame. How is 1 hour telling us? 1 hour is saying that there was an impulse move here, price correct to form this what? Double top here. Price move in the form of what? Downtrend here. So now currently price has used this 1 hour double bottom to move. So if price going to see more what? If price going to see more buy pressure, we are expecting price to break as we saw in 4 hour, pull back, opportunity to the downside. If not, that means that in 1 hour price can break as a fake break, price can break below, pull back. That is when we are going to look for 1 hour entry back to this trend line. Then we are done. So if you are trading in, or if you want to trade in 1 hour, our duty right now is to tell ourselves that before price was able to form this double bottom that we are seeing right now, price used what? Uptrend. Sorry, downtrend. Within this downtrend, where is the last support that price broke? Here is the last support that price broke within this downtrend. So price used this resistance to break below this support before it was able to form this double bottom here. Price has now then break above this what? Support again. That means that if price pull back here and fail to break, we can look for 1 hour entry to complete 1:3. We are done to this resistance. If not, we can also stay patient for price to what? Move to where it wants to move. Then when price what? Manage to break, we ask ourselves, if it is this break, true break, we will for pullback and then opportunity to the upside. If it is fake break, price will break below this support resistance again. It will pull back to it. Opportunity to the downside will be profitable. With this, I'm done with BTC USD. If you have any question in mind concerning BTC, you can bring it on board for us to talk about it before I move on to the next pair of your choice.